Salutations and welcome to Minecraft 1.13, the aquatic update. I'm your host DapperDemon, and today I'm here to show you how to teleport using command blocks. This is my third time trying to record this because I'm a little bit rusty on video stuff, because obviously I have not released anything in quite a while. So without further ado, let's begin. So here I have set up three sort of warp points that I'm going to show you how to warp between. So if I step to this one and click this button right here, that'll take me to warp point number 2, and on over to warp point number 3, and let's just head back over to warp point number 1. Now this is done with these command blocks. Command blocks, if you are unfamiliar with them, are blocks that you can place in the world. You have to be in creative to give yourself one of them, well, not to give yourself one of them, but to place them and edit them. You give yourself one of these by just typing /give @p command underscore. Oh well, it's they changed commands, so you can just hit tab at that point. And there we have one of those. So if I just place this down and open it up, you can see there's a bar here where you can type in a command. So I'm going to demonstrate that at this one over here, which is blue, because I've changed some of the parameters. This button down here, if I change that to, by default it's an impulse. Chain means that when this activates, it'll trigger the next one in the line, and repeat means that it will repeat until it no longer receives a redstone signal, or if I change this to always active, it'll just constantly go. So if I go ahead and type up here, you can type any command that you could type in chat. You don't need the /, but it won't change anything if you add it. So I'm going to go ahead and summon a chicken. So you'll notice, if you're familiar with commands, some things have changed. For one thing, it gives you sort of a preview of what you can type next. This automatically, I think, centers on where the command block is. So if I, or actually that might center where I am. I'm not sure about that. Let me check that out. Yeah, that centers where I was looking at the command block, so that's interesting. But this, if I summon the chicken and hit tilde, that summons it directly at the command block. It also shows you can next put the NBT data. That would be anything like making the chicken invisible or something like that. But it's all color-coded now, and that makes commands a lot easier to learn how to use and understand. So, that's basically all I've done over here. I just used a teleport command instead. So over here /TP, that's the start of the command. That's telling it what command it's running. At E is the what it's teleporting, which in this case is any entity, and this in the brackets here is the specified parameters of that. So it's any entity centered on x equals 6, y equals 57, z equals 25, which is this block right here. You can find that by hitting F3 and seeing on the left side there the second chunk of text. XYZ is the exact, down to the decimal point, location. The block under that is what I usually use for commands because it's a solid number. And then the fourth parameter rather here is distance. That has changed since previous versions. That used to be r equals and then a number, and that would have been anything within that radius. But they've changed that to distance, and that's to make it more exact. So let me go ahead and remove that real quick and show you what happens if I do that. Distance is very important for making sure that things happen in the way they're supposed to. So if I go ahead and click this now, it's going to teleport me over to that one, along with everything else that is in this world, and every entity that is loaded, because it is it's specifying entities with @E. I don't know why it does that, but because of that, it's very important to specify a distance around that area that you want to have that at. So if I put distance equals, and then let's say 2.5. Now I'm going to click this again, and nothing happens. That's because the parameter has changed for distance. That's used to be with r equals, it would be like if you put r equals 2, that would be anything within 2 blocks. There was also one called RM, which would specify a maximum distance. So that would be like if you put R equals 2, RM equals 3, anything more than 2 blocks away and less than 3 blocks away would have been teleported, which would be kind of weird, but I guess it could be useful for map making. So they changed that up to make it simpler. They kept it as one thing, which is just called distance. But now, to specify certain distances, it's up to 2.5 would be ... 2.5. If it's 2.5 or more, it would be 2.5 ... So if I specify that, it should teleport all of those back to the center of that again. Yeah. But if I specify with the ... 2.5, it should just teleport me. Because I am at least within 2.5 blocks of this. Oh, I picked up some chicken. The 0.5 is also important because it's a circular radius, not certain blocks. So if I'm standing in this corner and have this set at 2, it won't teleport me because I'm apparently more than 2 blocks away from the very center of this. So go ahead and change that back real quick. And that is about it. So that is the entity part, that's the selectors. I've explained that. The next part is the destination, which is -2, 57, 25. That's obviously the center of that area over there. You can also... Now, I don't know why that turned red. Okay. Anyway, that's about it for this part. On to the next part of this tutorial. So, let me introduce you to Dolly. Dolly is going to help us demonstrate more entity parameters. Now, when I click on this right here, both Dolly and I get teleported over here, and if I click on it again, we get teleported back. I can make sure that only one of us gets teleported though, and that's very easy. If I type @P, that makes sure it's only players. @P specifies a player within this area. So I click on that again, only I get teleported, Dolly's still over there. Click on it again. That one wasn't changed, so both of us would have gotten teleported back if we were in there. But I'm interrupting my past self real quick because I forgot something very important. So, whoops. I said @P specifies a player. That is just a player. So, since this is a single player world, that will only teleport me because I'm only one player in this world. If you're playing in multiplayer, use @A because that specifies all players. @E is all entities. Apparently there's R. I think that's a radius, specifically anything around the command block. I have no idea what @S is, but @A is all players, @P is one player at random. I think it's the player closest to the command, and @E is entities. So just clarifying real quick, use @A for multiplayer stuff. You can also change this with adding the parameter type. Now if I put this as type equals player, that's another way to specify only players. So again, just me. If I put this as type not equals player, that means anything but a player will get teleported over there. So Dolly alone will go over there, and let me just grab her again. I can also specify only sheep if I just want a sheep to be teleported over there. So over here we have a few more friends to introduce. Let me just go ahead and set Dolly loose and get rid of this button that I forgot to delete and give myself a lead to make this a little bit easier. So Dolly, run free. Run free. Just go. Just go. It's for your own good. Oh, okay, well I guess Dolly wants to stay over there. So we have Donkey here. Donkey's gonna show us how to move a lot of items at once, because donkeys have a unique thing, well, not entirely unique because llamas have this too, but donkeys can have chests attached to them, which means they have an inventory, and because of something called shulker boxes, that means you can move a lot of items at once. Now the donkey only has an inventory size of 15 items, but a shulker box is the same as a chest, and that can carry a lot more. That can carry, what is that, 27? Yeah, 27 items. And these can be made in survival mode. Let me just go ahead and give myself a pickaxe and switch to survival mode. So you can pick these up with a pickaxe and they will keep the inventory inside them. So let me just go ahead and put that back into donkey here. And these are all empty, but this is just to demonstrate that you can have a ton of items. Let me just do some quick math on my phone here because I don't know how to multiply 9 times 15 off the top of my head. Nope, that's not even 9 times 15, it's supposed to be 27 times 15. So you can carry 405 stacks of items on a single donkey. So you can just take your donkey over here, click this button. Well, that didn't work because that's specifying that it's sheep that they get teleported. Oh no, that's right. That's not working because I can't access that because I'm still in survival. So that's another thing I meant to demonstrate, but I can still activate command blocks in survival, I just can't edit them. So let me just go ahead and put myself back in creative. And go ahead and write donkey back over here. There's Dolly again. So I can pop over here and then I can change this real quick, just delete the type parameter, don't need that. And then I can move over here. So with a donkey, you can move one at a time because it's a donkey, you can ride it. But llamas might actually be even more useful for this because they have a very unique property in that I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 6 llamas here. They're named after the cast of Emperor's New Groove. So you can just go ahead and break this, and obviously they could scatter, but llamas have a unique property where if one is on a lead, they'll just sort of follow each other around in a train. So you can move a lot more items. Now, granted, llamas do have a smaller inventory space, and I think that actually changes from llama to llama, because this guy can carry 6 items, but these guys can each carry 3. I don't know where you guys think you're going, but yeah, they train together. So if I bring one over here, then I can just keep all of them. I don't know what llamas eat, but you know, to get the next part, you could just. No, that's not exactly what I wanted to do, but you get the picture. I can just put this in here and then teleport them all at once. So yeah, that's basically how you can move items en masse. Now, if you're setting this up in like a survival server, so players can move back and forth easily, you might want to change it to @P just to specify that they can't teleport a bunch of livestock back and forth, because who knows, you might consider that slightly more cheaty than being able to teleport yourself. For moving items, I don't think it would help really because the player has a lot of inventory space, and again, shulker boxes make it a lot easier to move stuff around. But for moving livestock, I just find it much less tedious to be able to teleport things back and forth. Obviously, I would make sure that only somebody you trust is able to edit these command blocks, because if somebody you don't trust is able to, then they could do something like change this to always active and just summon a massive amount of chickens. And if you don't have a specific game rule set, I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. This is the default. This will spam chat. I'm going to put in a test phrase, and that just gets pushed right up because it's constantly spamming chat with letting you know that a new chicken has been summoned. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Actually, first I'm going to turn that one off. That turns off the command block letting you know what it's doing, which it might be good to let you know what it's doing, because you know, that way you can make sure people aren't using command blocks for things they're not supposed to be. I meant to turn that off. Okay. And we have way too many chickens now. Gonna go ahead and get rid of those. Way too many items now. And now that's all cleared. Real quick addendum again, because I forgot something else that could be important. Now all of these guys are named, so I can show this pretty easily, but there is another thing you can do with teleporting commands, which is teleport specifically something by name. It could be a player, could be a mob. So if I teleport /TP @E name equals, and then it has to be in quotes, because if you name your mob something with a space in it, it needs to know that the space is part of that and not a separate command. So let's see if I can teleport myself, because I don't know if this works with players specifically with this way. There's other ways to do this, but I'm gonna move myself up 10 blocks. Yeah, okay, so that works. So since my name is DapperDemon, it will teleport me by that name. You know what? Let me just go ahead and rename Dolly real quick so I can demonstrate that with that. Let me just grab an anvil here, and there we go. So now if this sheep is also DapperDemon now, so we are both DapperDemon, and if I do that again, we both teleport 10 blocks above me, and Dolly dies because apparently Dolly cannot go up 10 blocks without taking fall damage. I was actually planning on using her again, but I guess I'll change. So if I want to say teleport Kuzco to me, I can do /TP @E name equals parenthesis, was it Kuzco? Yeah, Kuzco. Fun fact, I actually had to look that up because I was not sure. And then enter, teleport Kuzco to me. So if I say /TP @E name equals not donkey, which is the one named Donkey, who is a donkey. This will teleport all the llamas to me because they're the only other thing here, but not the donkey. So, yeah, just figured I'd add that on to the end here real quick, so you know you can teleport stuff by name. If you want to teleport your horse somewhere, you can just teleport specifically your named horse from one place to another. So yeah. So, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment in the not in the description, but in the comment section. Obviously, I'll try my best to clarify any confusion I might have caused. But until next time, farewell.